We're giving ourselves a round of applause before we even start today, which hopefully is indicative of how this episode is going to go. So we're back after a long, long break, couple of months. There was a rebel
COVID
episode
scare.
by the two. No, no, but yeah, but there was a rebel episode by the two Liverpool fans that me and Anitej discovered together, which was a fun discovery. But now all four of us are back together and. On the eve of actually a pretty big event in the football calendar, we just concluded yesterday the second semi-final of the Champions League. Very, very weird circumstances, obviously, this year with, the teams not having fans and no home and away. But yet, it looks like the final two teams are decided. But before we start the segment on the Champions League, we're going to have a small quiz hosted by our quizmaster himself, Mr. Utsav, looking fresh with a new haircut over here in Boston.
Gardner gave it an
Aaron
invite.
Ramsey haircut.
Okay, so speaking of, the Champions League, I have a couple questions here for you guys. Just
Are we doing the
regarding
heart buzzer?
Champions League. Yeah, so you just press like the heart and then whoever answers first. So, Jude, this is the first question. Jude Bellingham is the second youngest player to start a Champions League quarterfinal or, past at the age of 17 years old and 281 days. Who is the youngest player to ever start a Champions League quarterfinal or further? Go ahead, Apoorv.
Theo Walcott?
No. This guy was like around 60 days younger so he was also 17 when he started. I can give you guys a hint, and if you guys want to take a couple more minutes, but let me know when you want a hint. I can give you the year, and then after that, I can give you the team, or maybe the nationality or something.
I mean, I have nothing to go by.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. Anitej?
You said quarterfinal, right?
Right,
So
quarterfinal.
Probably not, but Jack Wilshere?
Negative.
Quarter.
Can you tell us?
Ashwin, you want to guess or you want the year?
I mean, can you tell us the year at least to give us some clue on the recency?
2008.
I have no idea.
Wow. 2008. I feel like it's gonna be
Rooney?
No.
No. Rooney was
2000.
2008. Rooney was 35.
Do you want the nationality or
team would be more helpful?
Yeah,
I
mean,
decide.
I guess.
Okay, so this is gonna
Bro, by the
a
face.
situation. Okay, I mean, you might not even think of him anymore. Team is Barcelona.
Is it Boyan?
It is our resident Stoke City man, Bojan Kirkic. 2008, he was 17 years old and 217 days to start for Barcelona.
He had a flourishing career after that.
Okay, so these questions are pretty hard, I will say. So let me give you one that's slightly more easy. Not easy, but I think okay. So in the Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo has the most semi-final appearances with 21, playing for United and Madrid, which is just absurd. And then obviously, who's in second place for most Champions League semi-final appearances? Anitej? Casillas is number 7 on the list, so unfortunately not. I mean, it's get pretty close. Like there's a couple tied in between.
It's obviously not Messi, otherwise this question would be irrelevant. So
you would have heard it by now.
Yeah, Apoorv?
Sergio Ramos?
So Sergio Ramos is in 6th place with 15.
Okay, we're
Where you
getting
brother?
closer. We're getting
Jokes.
closer.
Just for context, Cristiano Ronaldo has 21. The man who's in 2nd place has 17.
This is starts, or like it can just be appearances.
I'm assuming it's probably just even as a sub, but all of these players obviously were starting all of these games. At least, I mean, I would assume.
Can I
so.
go again, or do I have to wait for Ashwin?
Sure. I mean, unless Ashwin wants.
No,
Just say it, bro.
I don't have a guess, bro. Just saying.
I mean, it could be any of these. Philip Lahm?
No, wait, dude. That was my
It's
guess.
Phillips Lahm's
Okay,
not
is it
even.
Lahm?
He's
Oh,
not even in
Lahm
the
is
top
not.
10.
Wait, Dani Alves?
Dani Alves is in number 8.
Okay, bro. I think listeners might be getting a little bored.
Yeah, listeners are probably getting a little bit
Okay, give
bored.
us. Is it
Wait,
Javi, Iniesta, either of those
Give
two?
us like a slightly obvious.
Xavi's in number 3. Iniesta's not in the top 10. This guy played for 3 different very big teams.
Cedar.
No.
Man.
I'm a big fan of this player. He has played for Liverpool.
Mascherano. No?
What?
Javi Alonso.
Alonso.
Xavi
Alonso.
Alonso.
I was gonna
Madrid
guess,
and
but I was like,
Bayern.
there's no way, dude. He was like one of the
He played for
first names.
Bayern too, right?
Yeah. So it is Xabi Alonso
Exam.
with 17. But I guess, for the sake of the listeners, I'll save the rest of the questions for maybe the end of the episode. But, I guess we'll take this and turn this into, a discussion of someone that has managed Xabi Alonso, Pep Guardiola. And, finally, after, 10 years, he's found his way back into the finals of the Champions League, having spent, a little bit of money. Do you guys think that Chelsea has a chance in this game? We've obviously seen in the FA Cup semi-final that, and all these recent Chelsea games, that Tuchel seems to have found a way, aka park the bus, to win his games. But it seems like Pep City can, whatever the opposition, however they come at them, they find a way.
Yeah, I think Chelsea definitely has a chance just because the way he sets up defensively. And I think the way he goes with 3 back and Reece James and Chilwell at the wing back could trouble City because Pep has to alter his style. Whenever he goes against a 3, he tends to overthink it. But at least for this season, he's not been doing that. But I don't know. I think that, and especially the work rate that you've seen against Atletico, against Real Madrid, Chelsea have been like incredible, and they made like Madrid look like old people. Where Liverpool were unable to do that, Chelsea like ran rings around them, and N'Golo Kante, I think, could be a difference maker in that final.
Yeah.
I guess for Chelsea, it's just the fact that they're like we mentioned in the earlier episode, I think a month ago, Tuchel seems to like play everyone in their positions. Like Kante seems to flourish in that proper midfield role that we've seen him at Leicester. And then Thiago Silva, Rudiger, they have like experience plus that aggressiveness in defense. So, I mean, if I'm not wrong, they have like 15 clean sheets from like 24 or 22 games or something crazy like that.
I think
And
it's 21.
I've been so I've been saying all along, like defense is like super crucial to winning like the Champions League. And City's been good as well. I think Ruben Diaz had an amazing 2 games against PSG. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And I honestly thought, I don't know what you guys made of the game, but I thought PSG for over the 2 legs was probably the better team. But it's just City's counters just changed. They were so clinical. I mean, Mahrez with those counters, and they ended up scoring goals that like PSG probably should have scored, but they didn't. And then City just capitalized on whatever they created pretty much. So, I mean, if Chelsea sit back deep, it's going to be one of those games where like City have to break them down, and that's an entire different ball game. And in the FA Cup, like we saw, they managed to beat them 1-0. So this is going to be a really interesting game. But
I agree with the fact that Chelsea definitely has a chance, but I was definitely rooting for PSG personally, but I think City outplayed them over the two legs personally. PSG in that first half of that first leg was unbelievable. And then they come back in the second half of that first leg, and then I don't know if it was tactical instructions or I don't know whether it was like the classic Neymar and the other players, those flair type of players, just not wanting to work, because PSG were significantly already implementing a low block. It's like you're 1-0 up. Why are you trying to park the bus? Just play how we were continuing to play. And then in the second leg, Di Maria was just awful. And then
the whole team was just awful.
Icardi, yeah, I don't know,
Icardi was just anonymous.
Yeah, so I don't know. I still think City is just everyone in their team is just playing way, 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 way too well. But definitely the work rate that this Chelsea team has started to show under Tuchel is it's insane. Especially against Madrid in that second leg, they did not stop running.
I think Anitej's point about the FA Cup is interesting because if you look at the lineup City put out, he didn't put out his best team. Sterling and Torres.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jesus are all part of the second lineup now, and I think a lot of the game will come down to also Chelsea's front three. I think he's rotated a lot, but I think it sort of comes down to how well Diaz can contain Werner, Havertz, and whoever Mount, obviously, as probably the three who are going to play there. And obviously, going into the game, City will be favourites, so you would expect Chelsea to sit on the back foot and just try to hit them on the counter. And I think give themselves a shout to win the game. I think anything can happen considering it's not going to be a typical like we know finals. Anything can happen, right? I think if you looked at the last All English final, it was a complete garbage game where both teams didn't do nearly what they were doing the whole season, especially Tottenham. Tottenham just looked a complete shell of themselves. So it could potentially happen. I think fatigue is another big thing when you look at both these teams have so many games still to go before the Champions League final.
Chelsea's schedule's really hard, and they have a top four battle to play with, while City they have their FA Cup. While you can argue City, have basically one hand on the title and are going to have the luxury of being able to rest and rotate players.
What do you guys think of
better than everyone else's first string?
What do you guys think of Phil Foden, how he's been playing and how Pep's managing him, and just he seems to be the most important player on the pitch, even though Kevin De Bruyne is playing really, really good football. If y'all saw the game, just I have to point this out, the thing where he was on the left wing and he just took a touch with the smallest of the back lifts and hits the post. That was so messy. It was crazy. Obviously, he's not at that level or whatever he could possibly be, but it's unreal to see him play. And 1 year ago, I didn't even put him as a good player to watch or anything.
He even had that run that was messy, right?
The run was
turn and ridiculous.
I think he's a great player now, but he does that and then he misses a one-on-one chance. That just goes to show that he still has so much more to do to reach the great levels of Messi and Ronaldo and whatnot. But it was offside in the end, so it didn't matter.
He's 21, 22, 20.
The interesting thing is for me is that everyone thought he's a creative player and stuff, but now he's been playing out wide and he's still been doing so well. And for me, that's incredible as well.
No, and I think more than young and he has more to improve. This is technically his first real season of playing first team football. He was I think he scored in the 1-0 against Tottenham last year, which was I think the first game he started, which was way into the season. It was 80% into the season, and ever since then it's just been. It looks like he gets better every single game, which is just truly astounding. And I think coming back to Abul's question on Pep's management of him, I think that's just the one thing that you can sort of point to in Pep's history is he has done well with young players, especially talented young players, and this guy is just another one of that of that exact ilk of the Javis and the Messis. And the kid is just that goal against Dortmund, the one to win them the game pretty much. The finish, it was a laser, and like Anitej said, even I guess most of us expected him to be a creative force when he started off, but he knows where the goal is constantly, and he has such a smooth ability to transition, defense into attack. Kid has I think it's going to be interesting to see how Southgate uses him as well in the Euros. You know,
On the bench.
Left
the
wing
bench.
on the
back.
bench.
He's on the
Left wing
bench.
back. But I think coming back to, I just had one thing also to comment on, and I wanted to know your guys' opinion on this. Like we spoke about Pep, but what about Thomas Tuchel? You know, there's so much controversy surrounding his hiring. Obviously, they fired like the greatest player in the history of the club. Quite some might say prematurely, some might like say not prematurely, and those people have been proven right this season. But they just look a completely different outfit. You know, like they look so hard to beat. Like Anitej mentioned earlier on, they've kept like 80% or 70% clean sheet, something absolutely ridiculous like that. Mendy looks a real player now again, and everybody is playing their best. And he sort of has that similar Pep effect where he's like rotated so much and still kept the squad happy and everybody firing. What do you guys
Well,
make?
Pulisic wasn't happy this morning. He said, "I don't know what more I have to do to start." Because obviously he didn't start yesterday. But it feels like the one thing for Chelsea is under Lampard they were playing like kids and now they're playing like men. If I had to put it in one sentence, and I think that kind of just shows the experience. And kind of Tuchel's personality. He's very, very divisive. A lot of his previous employers, he's always fighting with the owners and the management and the board and whatnot. But you can't fault what he's done with the team in terms of identifying what they need, and like you said, rotating the center backs, the wing backs, and finally kind of showing, which I think one of the things maybe Lampard wasn't as great as is the actual depth of that Chelsea squad.
And the way he's managed, like Kai Havertz also, they got him in, like they bought Kai Havertz to be that marquee player, and be that number 10 or whatever. And he's just, since Tuchel has come in, he's been unbelievable. And even though like Timo Werner's missing open goals or, he's not scoring his chances, he's still been a very important part of the way they set up and the runs he makes, the spaces he makes. He's always working hard. He's like almost like a Cavani, back in his young days where he just doesn't stop running and working hard for the team. So that's a positive sign as well. And a person like Pulisic who comes and scores that goal against Madrid in the first leg cannot make the first 11 for the second leg. It just shows how good that squad can be and is, if all the players start clicking and doing well. And also like on Tuchel, his press conferences are pretty like good. I was watching one thing and they asked him, how does it feel? You're the first manager to reach 2 Champions League finals in a row with 2 different teams. Like, what are you doing right? And he said that obviously I'm not doing something right because it's with a different team. It was like,
Yeah.
Although one player who seemingly has
he's pretty
lost
good in
out
his
a
press
bit with
conferences and all that.
Ziyech
Yeah.
seems to
And
have been the
also,
loser.
yeah, and also with like Thiago Silva and Tuchel, like just what they were like basically told to fuck off from PSG, and now they come and reach a Champions League final, and hopefully they go on to even beat City. It's a good story.
Why hopefully? Like you're fully back on the Chelsea train.
No,
No.
not yet. I just like I don't want
Uh,
fucking either City or PSG if they were through. Like I don't want like people who
Yeah,
spend so
Apur, but
much money to
what
win.
about if Liverpool miraculously finishes in fourth place and then Chelsea drops out of the top four but wins the Champions League and you get cuffed out of a Champions League spot because of
Is
that?
that still a thing?
No, you don't.
No.
It's a
Liverpool, because
different sport.
I've been following this West Ham fan, and they're so nervous that exact thing will happen. Is that they'll go fourth and somehow. So that doesn't happen. It's only the
It's
Europa.
a
If
separate sport.
Arsenal
Yeah.
win the
No, but what if
Europa League, then it's a
Arsenal
problem.
win?
Yeah, then it's a problem. Then Chelsea will get the spot, and then the fourth place won't get it.
But Arsenal won't win, so we're fine.
Arsenal and Chelsea have to win for fourth place, and fourth place shouldn't be a team.
Or United would have to win and drop out of the top four.
Exactly. I mean, and
Which
since
is-
that's not gonna
Yeah.
I
happen.
mean, the lineups out for the Arsenal game, it doesn't look too good, to be honest. Yeah.
Is Aubameyang starting?
So I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
No.
you-
So
so-
the West Ham fan can like.
So you're
yeah.
Arteta out. You could just switch to West Ham, Anitej. I mean,
Might as well, dude. I'm actually rooting for them to get like the fourth spot. And I mean, should we talk about the top four race now? Because
Yeah.
I think Yeah, I think West Ham actually have a really good chance considering like the fixtures they have. Um, I think they only have to they're playing Everton, and I think that's the hardest fixture left.
Yeah,
Chelsea on the other hand
certainly a
have
hard
played.
fixture as we've seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I, I mean, for all the shit we've given Everton at the start of the season, I think they've done a lot better than what any of us expected.
No, I
But
would
yeah,
say
that
they're
being
exactly where they are every single season, around 8th through 11th, and they have a couple good weeks where they're like, oh, this team can go up, and then they just will lose games that they should be winning, and they end up 8th through 11th.
It's a
probably true
travesty, that
actually, but
team. I mean, they've had a lot of injury problems this season as well, and obviously
Yeah.
James with the sex change and all of that. So there's like a lot of stuff going on. Anitesh was a firm believer in that rumor, by the way. Let me just reiterate to
a little
everyone.
too true. The
Uh,
But
injuries that he seemed a little suspect.
do you guys think that Liverpool or Spurs have any outside chance of finishing in the top four?
I think Liverpool have a good chance,
I
not
mean,
Spurs.
Liverpool also
But
have
like,
like the easiest
who
fixtures.
slips up? Who slips up for Liverpool to like?
I think Chelsea can, dude, because just looking at the fixtures, they have City this weekend, then
But
they have Arsenal.
If West Ham win out, then like they replace Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
So I would say like West Ham probably would be the biggest threat to Liverpool not getting a top four because Chelsea's fixtures are really hard. I mean, they have done well. They've like
Yeah, we're saying all
Paula
of this,
said.
but he's beaten what? He's beaten Simeone, he's beaten Zidane, he's beaten
That's what I'm
Klopp, he's
saying.
beaten
Yeah, exactly. He's
Guardiola
done all that, so you never know.
Without
Like,
oh,
conceding a
I
goal.
mean,
without conceding a
No,
goal.
yeah,
and Liverpool still has to play United at Old Trafford, so that's
That's
not.
the game I'm least worried about. Knowing them, they'll probably win that and then lose to Brighton. Dumbasses.
Yeah, I don't even know about
but
that.
yeah,
Right?
just to
I don't
run
even
it.
know why you have
Uh,
hope.
uh, Chelsea's fixtures, they have City, then Arsenal, they have Leicester in the FA Cup, but then they play them again a few days later. And then
Yeah,
they have
Leicester
Villa
Chelsea
away,
is also still.
which I think could be tricky
It would
if Grealish is
it would
back,
be
you know?
crazy if Leicester lose out a top four
Maybe
spot.
Leicester choke again, like
Yeah,
last
like
season.
Yeah,
that.
maybe. You never know. Because even Leicester has a pretty hard fixture list, to be honest. So wait, who do you think would make the third and fourth spot?
I think the way it is right now, I think it will finish exactly the way it is, where
Yeah,
it's
I
City,
can't.
United, Leicester, Chelsea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And
I
if
I think
anything, West Ham. I don't think Spurs or
yeah.
Liverpool. I'd put Liverpool chances at like 10% and Spurs at like
Wait,
5%.
Liverpool will play the Europa League next season.
I
Hopefully
hope
not.
they don't even qualify the fucking Europa though.
Yeah.
Dude, you guys have written off the title like
Ooh.
that so easily. Title race is still on, boys. If United win
Ashwin,
the
as
game in
the match
hand,
keeps impossible.
Is
For next
it's
season, if you had to start, if the next season started, if it starts right now with no transfers, who is the number one contender to City for the title?
I think
that's
Chelsea.
impossible. I mean, United, I would say.
I would
I
say
think United.
Liverpool with the defenders coming back.
Yeah, Liverpool United would be up there. I think. I mean,
I
No,
Chelsea.
think
Chelsea.
Chelsea
Chelsea.
more than United, yeah.
I think Chelsea more than United because of their
I think
defense.
Chelsea more than United as well.
I
I
think
But you
United
never
is.
know
honestly,
with
I mean,
Ollie. Ollie's at the wheel.
But I really
I think
think.
Chelsea might
Uh,
have a. I keep saying this about Chelsea, but they do well. But I don't know. Maybe it's just like a honeymoon period that Thomas is having
Bro,
right
it's
now.
been a
No,
while.
but
Like the
actually, we
honeymoon
didn't think
period has
about
been going.
Spurs, right? Because Mourinho third season, so we didn't talk about that, right? It's probably gonna come back.
no,
What
I'm a
about
big Ryan
Mourinho's
Gosling guy.
appointment to fucking Roma, dude? He's running out of clubs now.
I mean, running out of like I don't know how he's
It's,
still getting like relatively big clubs, dude.
No,
Like
did you see his
I'll tell you
Instagram?
how.
This whole
Instagram.
resume. Ashwin, I don't. So obviously, you don't have Instagram for the how many ever days it was between the time he got fired till he got appointed. He just posted like a different trophy he won at a different club. With like
And,
10
and he
So what
even
do you
had
mean,
the
like a
picture
picture
of
of
like
him with
Gerrard taking the ball where Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1. He has a picture of him taking the ball from Gerrard. It was like Mourinho at peak.
He's
Like
basically been
broke
posting
Instagram.
throwback pictures like on this day in
Oh,
2005,
right. I won
chilling with the
this. Right.
friends and stuff. Yeah.
Right,
So he's been doing
no,
that
because
every like.
I saw the journalist outside his house, trying to interview him, and he's like, "This is my friend. Look," and he's like, he's recording them back, like he's a
He
weird guy,
also
dude.
joined the first team, so that experiment I'm saying right now, that experiment's going nowhere.
The funniest thing was how Smalling and Mkhitaryan were like trending the day he got hired at Roma because like both of them have been killing it, like really resurged their careers, and now they're back with this shithead.
I mean,
Oh my.
Smalling had an unbelievable performance in that 6-2. Poor guy was like put into the team right after like a 3-week
Yeah.
thing where he was out for injury, and he just fucking like he was back in his good old days. He was missing Phil Jones too.
Conceding 6 at Old Trafford, he's used to that, dude. So what else is there? So there's relegation seems to be like
Yeah,
a
it's done
short
deal.
shot. So
We're finally getting rid of Sheffield. Thank God, dude. Send Chris Wilder back home. I guess he's already sent back home.
But to be honest, there are no good players that you can scam from these teams as well.
West Brom, dude. West Brom. Pereira.
I think Matias Pereira, yeah, if he goes to a good team.
Yeah.
I think Sam Allardyce is the biggest catch from West Brom.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
He's staying with them. He might stay with them apparently. There have been talks. I mean, Ainsley Maitland-Niles might be coming back anyway, so there's no point.
Oh, right. Dude, what about Arsenal season? Can we just conclude
the
episode
let's just do a quick
about
mini review on the Arsenal
I mean,
honestly,
their season's going to be concluded in a couple of hours anyway, so it's not going to make a
someone
difference.
was asking me, was Anitej ever Arteta out? And I was like, honestly, to be true to him, he wasn't. It was a wrong decision, but like at least he wasn't.
Okay, wait. I still won't be Arteta out because it's just this entire season has been so crazy. He hasn't had a preseason, and there have been so many changes in the backroom staff and whatnot. So I don't know, man. I'm more of a Kroenke out than an Arteta out because changing managers is going to make a difference unless that dumbass leaves.
Ask him.
I mean, I think we should just say that both of them should probably be out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like after Anitej, like Arteta, maybe one more season if he's given like a preseason and all that, and no pressure.
Okay, one more season.
Next year there's no Europa also, so just the league and the cups. Could work out for him.
Yeah, the one thing is at least the youngsters have come through under him, and if anything, maybe he learned a thing or two from Pep, so he can turn Sasa into Foden as well.
My thing is this, right? Like when I posed the question of who is going to challenge City for the title, we said, Chelsea, we said Liverpool, we said United. How further back is Arsenal from all of those teams? Like, would you even say top 4 is a realistic expectation going into next season with the current squads we have? We'll say we're giving you the preseason, your backroom staff, blah, blah, blah.
I would say no, but if we did get top 4, that would be an achievement. That would be the aim for the season.
Yeah.
Right? So, at the end of the day,
the odds are not in Arsenal's favor.
The odds are not.
Unless some marquee signings are.
Yeah, what manager is going to come in and change anything with these group of players?
I agree with that in terms of I don't think any manager would come in with that squad and overtake any of those other teams.
Yeah. So it's not
but also next season, I think the expectations, everyone else is going to have a refresh also, right? Like if you look at now Tuchel is going to have a preseason, the great Ryan Mason is going to have a preseason. So it's going to be a tough year ahead.
Okay. Okay, Anitej, this is actually my last question before we wrap this up. If Wenger said he's willing to come back, are you Wenger in and Arteta out? Or are you still saying Arteta
that's a tough one.
You have to be
Wenger in.
No, Wenger's done, bro. He's like Mourinho now. I don't want to go back to those days. It's fine.
I like it, bro.
Try something new. Otherwise, I'll be back to predicting lineups 2 weeks in advance and stuff. So.
Anyways, on that note, that is it from us.
See you next season.
See you next season at this rate.